Hey everyone, this is Libertarian Black Man. I saw a headline recently that I just couldn't believe, but unfortunately it is true. Local governments across the country are waging a war against the homeless, and they're doing so by making it more difficult for volunteers to feed them. It all began with a headline that looked like this: Kansas City Health Department pours bleach on food meant for homeless people. Now, if you read that, you may say, why in the world would a health department do something to food to make it unedible for people who find it hard to find food in the first place? Well, at the very beginning, they'll tell you. It all began with an organization called Free Hot Soup Kansas City, KC, and it was reported by the Kansas City Star that this group had produced home-cooked chili, foil-wrapped sandwiches, and vats of soup. All of that was destroyed Sunday, November 5th during a coordinated sting operation where the government went to several parks where volunteers were gathering to feed the homeless. The health department defended their policy by saying that this organization, quote, did not have a permit and was putting people at risk. The health department director, Rex Archer, said that E. coli or salmonella or listeria can grow in food, and that if you give that to homeless people who are more vulnerable, they will end up in the ER and even die from that exposure. He went on to say it's wrong to prepare food, quote, in these individuals' homes when these people haven't been trained to prepare food safely, and that, quote, they were transporting it in the trunks of cars when it's cool. That if it's warm food, it's supposed to have insulation to keep the food warm, and these people didn't have that, so therefore the food was more dangerous. Saying that it was, quote, standard procedure in public health to go ahead and pour bleach on the food so that people won't consume something that is dangerous. The mayor of Kansas City, Sly James, also agreed, saying that rules are there to protect the public's health and that all groups must follow them, no exceptions. Now, here's a very important question that you have to ask yourself. What do you think the homeless are doing when nobody is coming to their aid? Well, they have to eat, so they go wherever they think food might be. They're dumpster diving every single day. They're looking for any kind of food that they can eat wherever that they believe someone may have left it. And they will do this for days, weeks, months, years while they're homeless. Now, most people would look at this and say, I would never go into a dumpster and find food there, because in fact it is far more likely that it would be contaminated with E. coli or salmonella or listeria when it's sitting in a dumpster mixed with other trash and sitting there for who knows how long. But when you don't have many options, this is all you can really count on, unless there are people who are generous enough to make food in their homes that is far more likely to not be contaminated and feed it to you at no charge. Now, the health department of Kansas City, and really of every city in America that has these types of policies that you can't feed someone unless you have a permit, should ask themselves this question: is food more likely to be contaminated after sitting in a dumpster mixed with other trash and exposed to the elements, or is it more likely to be contaminated, prepared in the sanitation of your own kitchen and served shortly afterward? This is a classic case of the government trying to protect people from a situation that is actually better than the alternative. Is it possible that food served by volunteers to homeless people could be contaminated? Sure, it's possible. But what is the alternative? The alternative is that there are no volunteers because people don't get permits or can't get permits, or not enough of them are getting permits, and the homeless go into the dumpster, where food is more likely to be contaminated because it's mixed with garbage and sitting for who knows how long. And of course, garbage can be, use your imagination. People throw all kinds of things away that are contaminated. So, the government, in an attempt to save homeless people from dying or getting sick, pours bleach on food that is far less likely to be contaminated than what the homeless were already consuming before volunteers came to them with food. So, this generated outrage, and the Department of Kansas City said that they were going to be contacting Free Hot Soup Kansas City to discuss a way of moving forward. Here's how they can move forward. It's very simple. Abolish permit regulations. People who have food should be allowed to serve that food to homeless people. And in public areas where homeless people are likely to be found, the people who are volunteering should be able to just say, look, I'm going to go out and make something in my house, which is not going to be contaminated because I certainly don't serve that food to my family. I'm just going to go out and make that and bring it to them. The homeless people will certainly be grateful for it and in better health because of it. Remember, would you go to a dumpster to feed your family, or would you buy food and prepare it in your own kitchen? Which is more likely to be contaminated? The government says because you have not been trained according to what we believe is correct or adequate training, you cannot prepare food in your home and serve it to people unless you have a permit. Kansas City, Missouri is not the only city in America with these types of regulations. In fact, you can be sure that most towns and cities across this country have some kind of rules that keep people from feeding the homeless unless they satisfy some kind of government regulation. It just makes life harder on the homeless, and really, it just makes people feel bad that people are going to be penalized for doing a good deed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel Libertarian Black Man and the Twitter page. Follow us on Twitter at Libertarian Black Man. And please purchase the book Say No to Big Government, My Case for Maximum Freedom, to learn more about the danger and the terrible nature of government regulations such as this and many others. And we hope to see you in the next video.